Hey, hello everyone. First and foremost, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Robert Mendes, the Executive Director of the Boys and Girls of Greater New Bedford, and just say today, once again, it's our honor to host this event, this very important event that addresses some critical issues in our community. The Boys and Girls Club, obviously, with all the children that we serve, abuse in any form is always a major concern because safety is our top priority here. So once again, on behalf of the Board of Directors and our staff, we're great to have this event here today. We had it last year and hopefully for years to come. So when it comes to issues like this that are very near and dear to the community, our doors are always open. So at this time, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center of Bristol County, Ms. Michelle Laranger.
Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate your hosting and supporting our mission and protecting children as a youth-serving organization. We appreciate your investment in this issue. Also to recognize Chief Preventure, who is here with us today, Pamela McLeod-Lima, and of course Mayor Mitchell, who will all have some speaking, and DA Tom Quinn, who's not able to be here today, will have a few words from his office representative, Leslie Leahy. So thank you all so much for being here today to help us bring awareness to Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Prevention Month. We're really grateful for your presence in helping us join the fight against any kind of violence towards children. The mission of the Children's Advocacy Center is to empower children and families to heal from the trauma of abuse and violence through community partnerships, education, and the pursuit of justice. And this event here today is really what community partnerships are all about. The future prosperity of any community depends on its ability to foster the health and well-being of the next generation. When a community invests wisely in children and families, the next generation will pay that back through a lifetime of productivity and responsible citizenship. Yet when not all children have equal opportunity for healthy growth and development due to an experience of child abuse and neglect, we put our future at risk. While April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, you can make a big difference year-round through small acts that help protect children, strengthen families, and promote traits that help protect families, and ultimately prevent the abuse and neglect of children. So I challenge you all to take this pledge in your role in working with children and families, and thank you again for being here. At this point, I would like to invite Leslie Leahy from District Attorney Tom Quinn's office to say a few words.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. You know, in 1983, President Ronald Reagan set up the proclamation to acknowledge that April be a month for child abuse awareness. And the purpose of that was to highlight the importance of communities and families and everyone to come together, to work together to prevent child abuse. And you know, the majority of child abuse stems from preventable situations. Research shows that there are identifiable factors to reduce child abuse and neglect. Parents need to be resilient when dealing with their own stresses. And parents and guardians need to know the importance of nurturing, of attachment of the child, of the social connections of the child. And they need knowledge in child development and parenting skills. And everyone in this room serves to that end in one way or another, to try to protect the child. And there's one benefit from being on this job so long. I've been here over 20 years. And those of you who've been in your jobs that long know we can see the improvement. We've come a long way. There's a long way to go, but years ago, There were like secret conversations between agencies, if you could have any conversation at all. And now we're in a position where, it used to be the Women's Center, the DCF, and the DA's office, and nobody worked together. And now with the help of the Children's Advocacy Center, we have memos of understanding, and we work together, and we try to do what is best to help the family and strengthen the family. So, and we all work as a team, which is not something that we were able to do in the past. So there have been really great improvements. So I ask everyone to keep up their good work and pledge to never stop trying to find creative ways to spread the word, know knowledge is power, and protect these children who are in need. Thanks.
Thank you, Leslie. What a wonderful representation of DA Quinn's office. So in continuing the theme of partnerships in our work together, I'd like to ask the Executive Director of the Women's Center, who is the sexual assault responder for adolescents and adults, to come say a few words. Pamela McLeod-Lima.
Thank you. I'm not altogether sure this is working. Can you all hear me? I hope. I'm glad to be here today, and I'm hoping that the microphone for the cable system is picking up, because I'm not only speaking to the audience here today, but more importantly, to those of you who are out there that might be viewing this event on cable. This is a very important event about a subject that it's not always easy to talk about, but we need to talk about it. And it's so important that, in fact, our leadership in this country have been talking about it. To quote, "Sexual violence is not just a nightmare for victims of assault and their families," President Obama noted during remarks at the White House. "It is an affront to our basic humanity. It insults our most basic values as individuals and families and as a nation." So this is a national problem. This is a problem that has been acknowledged by the leadership in this country. Vice President Joe Biden was even more specific in his message. "Step up," he said. "Speak out. Be responsible. Intervene. You have an obligation to get involved and be part of the work to prevent sexual assault." So our two top leaders in this country know how important this work is. Violence against women has taken on a new prominence recently amid the controversy over the NFL's handling of domestic violence. And we know that society, including sports leagues, have had scandals of their own. The nation's military is not beyond having also scandals within their military academies and within the military itself. And we also have very, very serious issues with college campus sexual assault. So this is a societal issue. This is an issue that we all need to address. The key message from the White House was that colleges must take action to curb violence that has long plagued students across the country, and that society itself needs to take action against that violence. We can no longer turn a blind eye or pretend that sexual assault does not occur on campuses and in our society. There was a 20-page report issued by Vice President Biden from the White House on sexual assault. And they also, last September, the President and Vice President initiated the It's On Us campaign, which is a media campaign across the country, which has involved a lot of very famous celebrities. It's on us, meaning it is on us to prevent sexual assault and partner violence. It's on all of us. We all need to take the pledge that they require in the It's On Us campaign. The pledge is to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. We all need to pledge that. We all need to talk about this very important issue, even though, as I said, it is not always easy to do so. We really know that in this case, silence is not golden. When I was a child, there was an expression, silence is golden. And you know what? As an adult, I've found out it very rarely is. Things that happen in silence and in secret are dangerous, and they put our families and our friends and our loved ones at risk. So we need to not be afraid to speak out and to speak up and to stand up against sexual violence and domestic violence. All the information that you need to do that and to help other people that you love is here today, or more importantly, you can call the Women's Center at 508-999-6636, and we are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to help victims, to help the families of victims, and to give you the information you need to step up and speak out about sexual assault and violence.
Panel, thank you very much. I again want to acknowledge, before I introduce Mayor Mitchell, the amazing work of the New Bedford Police Department and Chief Prevention. Thank you so much for being here today and the support. As we talked about earlier, we work very, very closely with the Detective Division at New Bedford Police. The relationship is seamless, and the constituents in New Bedford are better for that, so thank you. And without further ado, if my partners in today's presentation will pardon saving the best for last, Mayor Mitchell, appreciate the support that you lend, really enjoying the partnership, Mayor Jon Mitchell.
Thank you, Sean. Gee, with an introduction like that, I think you must be asking for some more money somehow, Michelle. Well, good. I'm glad the compressor stopped when I came up to speak. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel special. Well, listen, it is. You're gonna have to pardon this pun, but there is a point here. It is appropriate that we are making this announcement, that we are having this occasion on a basketball court, because it does take a full court press to combat sexual abuse. It really does. And I say that because there is what you, and I know I'm speaking to the choir more or less because everybody in this audience is involved in one way or the other in combating sexual abuse, but we do have a great team here in Greater New Bedford and beyond throughout the county. But and it runs from the DA's office, where we have some very extraordinary advocates, victim advocates, and prosecutors who get this stuff, and it takes a special professional to get it right and to get a conviction under very difficult circumstances. It takes very effective and nuanced police work to bring those cases forward. It takes effective leaders like Michelle and Pamela to protect, and Rebecca, to protect the victims when they come forward, and to get cases out of them, but also to make sure that their welfare is accounted for. And this happens every day without fanfare, without accolades in the newspaper. It happens because they care, they work together, they're highly competent, and in ways that we might not always recognize. Our city, our region is stronger for it, and more particularly, our kids are safer as a result. But it is much of the work that they do is reactive. It happens after the problem has occurred, after the event has occurred. And sometimes those events are repetitive, and sometimes they take place over many years. What we were doing here today is we're here not just to highlight their efforts and their good deeds, but also to sensitize the rest of us to the problem of sexual abuse. 1 in 4 girls in this country under the age of 18 will be victimized by sexual assault. 1 in 6 boys under the age of 18 will become victims. It is a serious epidemic in this country, and I don't use that word lightly. And it really requires, as well as these folks you've heard from and others who are here perform their jobs, and they really are good at it, they will be the first to tell you that it's not enough, that we together as a society have to continue to talk about it, to sensitize others to it, to be vigilant, so that we can be in the business of prevention, that we can be in the business of nipping those problems in the bud by getting people to come around, people who would be perpetrators out there, to understand at some level what they're contemplating. We want to get in their heads first before the problems happen, because look, I mean, these are people we know, whether we know it or not. There are people, there are adults among us and children among us who have been victims, and they carry those scars on the inside. Nobody wants that to happen. It is, as Pam quoted the president, it is an affront to our basic values. but even worse than that, it's harmful, deeply harmful in profound ways to children. So I really want to take this occasion to salute all the work that you guys are doing, Pam, Chief, Robbie, Michelle, Rebecca, the DA's office, everybody, but also let's take this occasion to remind ourselves and everybody else that we all play a role in it. And thank you, everybody. I have a little proclamation for you that I won't read, just so we can keep things moving along, but thanks for all that you're doing, Michelle.
Mayor, thank you. Mayor Mitchell, thank you so much. The support is greatly appreciated. I'd like to offer, too, that, as Mayor Mitchell said, education and awareness are the first steps to prevention. The Children's Advocacy Center has a downloadable brochure for prevention on our website at cacofbc.org, and we have plenty of prevention material available here for you today. I want to clarify that just because our physical address is a Fall River address, we are serving every community in Bristol County. We are ever present in the New Bedford. We are serving New Bedford constituents. Please call us if you have questions about how to keep a child safe. That number is 508-674-6111. I want to end with a challenge to all of you to make a pledge to keep children safe, and would really like to end with a pledge that I would like everyone to take dearly, that I have read in previous proclamations, but it really resonates for our work moving forward. If I see, hear, suspect, or in any way become aware that a child is being abused, I will not keep silent. I will have the courage to help that child break free from the silence, secrecy, and shame that should never define a child's life. Mayor, Pamela, Chief, and Robbie, thank you so much for your time and attention today, and we're going to let the kids come in and have some fun now.